The expenses of Madame de Pompadour, the official mistress of King Louis XV, amounted to 22,433,000 livres. This most influential beauty of France spent this fortune over the course of 19 years. She meticulously compiled a list of her expenditures, which included payments for her servants, assigned pensions, for instance, 4,000 livres for Dr. Quinet, the cost of gold and silver tableware, entertainment arrangements, and her dresses. A staggering 350,000 livres were spent solely on her outfits. Additionally, an exquisite jewelry box made of gold boxes, a mere whim, cost the Marquise 300,000 livres. Pompadour turned out to be the most extravagant of all the favorites that France had ever seen. However, there is a theory that she did not account for everything. The meticulous librarian of Versailles, Joseph Leroux, personally calculated Madame's expenses, and his total came to a much higher 37 million livres. Being the official royal mistress, a favorite, was a status that many young women aspired to. It's important to note that rulers valued not only the successes of these women in the bedroom, but also their intelligence and charm. The pretty but dim-witted favorite of Louis XIV, Angelique de Fontanges, failed to hold the king's attention precisely because of her lack of intellect. As compensation for her dismissal, she was granted the title of Duchess. By the way, titles were one of many things that favorites could acquire. A duchess's crown on a carriage allowed a young woman to feel more confident at court. According to the hierarchy of ranks, the only title above that of a duchess was that of a princess. Another beloved of the Sun King, the limping Louise de la Valliere, also became a duchess. This favorite was considered modest. Although the king built her a palace in Versailles, she was remarkably unmaterialistic for her position and retreated to a convent after the peak of her court career. La Valliere did not cost the treasury too much. She received the estate of Vaugeois, baronies in Turin, diamonds, and titles for all her children. Eventually, Louise's daughter received a 1,000,000-livre dowry in the Château de Charenton. Another well-known favorite of the time, Athénise de Montespan, on the other hand, was drawn to luxury. She persuaded the king to build the Château de Clagny, to add a wing to the Palace of Versailles, and to lavish gifts upon her. Madame de Sévigné described the marquise's outings. In her carriage there are 6 horses. Behind her, another carriage with her maids and attendants, accompanied by 10 horsemen, making a total of 45 people in her retinue. And this was not even a queen. This was the official favorite. All her children, also recognized by the king, received grand titles and full support. The dowry of just one of them, Françoise Marie, who became the wife of the Duke of Orleans, amounted to 2 million livres. However, Montespan was truly a child compared to Pompadour's successor, Madame du Barry. This lady's annual expenses reached 1,200,000 livres, not including other incentives. The passionate and lively favorite spent incredible sums on herself and her entertainments. Madame du Barry was a patron of artists and sculptors, and she is often credited with founding the extravagant Rococo style. Another generously favored mistress was Diane de Poitiers. Interestingly, her wealth came from her predecessor. Anne de Pisseleu, the mistress of King Francis I, received a Parisian mansion and several castles from him. When Henry II ascended the throne and fell in love with Diane, Anne's property was transferred to the new official favorite. The king went even further. The tax that government officials paid to confirm their authority when the king changed was redirected not to the royal treasury but straight to Diane. As a result, the French budget was short by nearly 1,000,000 livres. Diane also received the title of Duchess and, in addition, the Château de Chenonceau. However, this magnificent estate had to be returned later. When Henry II passed away, his widow ensured that the state property was returned to the crown. In contrast, the most modest favorites were the ladies of the 14th and 15th centuries, when the concept of an official royal mistress was just emerging. Neither Odette de Champdivers nor Agnes Sorel received the honors or titles that favorites of later centuries enjoyed. Moreover, they were funded with incomparably less. However, the The state treasury during the Hundred Years' War and immediately afterward did not allow for much extravagance.